Hello everyone, JRDL96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's another Markiplier video and it's another animation Distractible related. Now, the last animation we saw was the story of Wade getting a pregnancy test randomly when he and his girlfriend at the time didn't even have sex yet at that point. And she was saying her period was late and stuff, and then he had to make this story where he's like, oh, my mom needs a pregnancy test. So it was a great fucking story. But it seems like now we have another animation that Mark just posted today at the time of recording this on March 2nd. And it's the story that was from the Hold My Beer episode where Mark randomly, Mark and Bob talk about this time when they were roommates in college where they decided to bunk their beds. They made their beds pretty much a bunk bed. They loft the beds and they didn't have the right tools to do so, and they didn't ask for permission. So, Mark had to get plastic clothes hanger pieces and just put them there where you put the, where you loft the beds on and stuff like that. So it seems like this animation was made by the same. It looks like a similar art style to the guy who made the first animation with, when Mark went on that random movie theater date with Smithers and stuff like that. It looks like the same, art style. But it seems like the guy who made the, pregnancy one was the guy who made the Barbara animation. Someone mentioned that in the comments, so yeah, that's a correction I was made. So. But anyways, let's just get right into this animation because I know this story was funny as hell. So anyways, let's get right into it. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
What year was this? Like freshman year?
2007, freshman year.
I just entered middle school.
So I come in from winter break.
I just entered middle school at that time. And
let's loft the bed. Like, I don't think I said hello.
Let's loft
first.
the beds.
I think I walked in the door and was like, "You want to loft? You want to put the beds in on top? Bunk them? You want to bunk the beds?"
Well, we'd have so much more room for activities that way.
I know. God, that movie hadn't even come out.
I know. That's exactly what we were doing. We wanted room for activities.
Like, we need more
Is that
space
Step Brothers?
for when people come over when we have all these parties.
Obviously, we're cool guys.
You guys throw a lot of parties after this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We
God,
definitely threw at least one.
yeah, apparently they did.
We did throw one. God. Great. I can't wait to hear how worth it this was.
So Mark enters.
Copy
and
paste.
So our current setup, we basically split the room in half, right? But it's not that big of a room. Like, if we were standing shoulder to shoulder, we'd probably take up the whole width of the center of that room.
Yeah.
So, if you bunk one bed on top of the other, you get like a quarter of the room. But the way the beds are supposed to go together when you bunk them, you're supposed to, lower the height of the bed that goes on top, because when they're on the floor, the bed is like all the way up on the highest setting it can go, right?
So you can put stuff underneath it, etc.
But if you leave it like that and then
you got no room
on top of another bed, there's like maybe a foot between the bed and the ceiling.
Yeah, really, like, legitimately.
So you're supposed to change that, but that required like
tools
or I don't
but
know,
they don't.
knowledge. We didn't know how to do that, so we didn't do that.
Of course not.
So we're looking at this and we're like, yeah, I don't think we can't adjust your bed. I think, and Mark is like, that's fine. I'll sleep up high. Good air up high. It'll be fine. Like, we get past that hurdle. The other thing about this is, other than the fact that you're supposed to, 1, ask for permission, and 2, ask for help from adults, there's supposed to be a thick metal pin in each of the 4 legs that lock it in place, so they can't slip off. That seems crucially important.
Sure. Yeah, that's
and then
very
we're looking
important.
And we're like, all right, metal pins. We don't have metal pins. And I don't know. I think it was you, Mark. I gotta give credit where it's due. We're sitting there like brainstorming, and Mark like goes into his wardrobe and turns back to me with a pair of scissors and a plastic clothes hanger. And is like, if we just snip this straight part of this clothes hanger, it's like metal pins.
That's a meme right there.
Perfectly.
It was the right diameter. It has plastic clothes hangers you could snap.
That was a reference to a meme. I think it was Charlie Day.
Sheer strength as metal pins. So like, yeah, he looks at me, and of course he holds up the scissors and then the thing, and I look at him and I'm like, perfect. How big do you think they need to be? Let's do this. No hesitation at all.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh. And my favorite part of this whole thing, we eyeball them to the same-ish length, set them all in. We hoist the bed up really precariously, set it on the pins. One of the 4 pins was like half an inch longer than the other ones, and it was half an inch too long.
Oh no.
So the bed, the weight of that corner of Mark's bunked bed, which is now like 10 feet off the ground, the weight of that bed is sitting on the plastic clothes hanger. And we sort of like, I don't remember the conversation, but we looked at it for maybe a second, like 10 seconds total. And then Mark was just like, fuck it.
Just fuck it.
Climbed. And so for the entire rest of that school year, Mark's bunk bed, 1/4 of the legs was supported by like a 1/4 inch thick piece of plastic.
You should be fucking dead.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's K. Roos who made this. But they left out the story, the part where where Mark talked about where he literally had no room, because he even said, like, if he sneezed, he would probably fucking break his nose because he's literally that close to the ceiling. And the other thing is that he heard all the stuff that was going on upstairs on the floor above them. And, you know, he heard all the parties and all the stuff, and, you know, some risque business, like, you know, people having sex up there. And even, like Bob mentioned, that there was, like, there was someone up there that had sex a lot that year. And shit. And even Wade made the joke, like, he's, like, nose deep in their business. And stuff like that. But, another part of that story is, like, there was, like, that one time where Mark completely forgot that he was in a bunk. And when he woke up, he went to roll over and go, and then he fell. And he's like, you know, and he completely forgot that he was in a bunk. So he just completely just fell down. And, like, Bob, like, described it as, like, he heard, like, he kind of saw, like, he was somewhat half awake at this point. And Mark, like, rolls over, and he, like, Bob hears, like, this, whoa, and just, that was it. And then, like, Bob kind of went, like, you alright? And Mark goes, yeah, I'm alright. And stuff like that, and that was it. But, man, that story is hilarious, because I think the reference of, you know, we'll have so much room for activities, I think that's a Step Brothers reference, if I'm not mistaken. And stuff like that. But yeah, some of the, you know, animation, you know, parts, like the copy paste, and, you know, the moving with the computer like the, you know, mouse arrow moving the bunk bed on top, not fitting there and stuff. And then that reference of Mark saying, you know, it'll work perfectly fine with the clothes hangers, with reference to, I think it's Charlie Day, the actor in the picture. I don't know what show it was, but I know it's Charlie Day. And the reason why I know it's Charlie Day is because I recognize him because he's playing Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers animated movie. So that's why I recognize him. So, I don't know. But that story is fucking great. It's hilarious and stuff. And of course, it was made by K. Roos, who made, you know, this animation. It looks like it was made by the same person who made the very first animation that Mark posted related to Distractible and stuff. But yeah, that story was great. That story was funny as hell. Very, very funny. But I would love to see, you know, an animation made not on Bob's Fridge, like we already know that, but I would like to see the story that preceded that Mark told, where he went on this, you know, little parkour adventure of his own and stuff like that. Like, that whole story about him trying out for parkour, this parkour club that, you know, they had in his college and his University of Cincinnati. And he had this weird-ass Mirror's Edge cosplay costume on. with the fingerless gloves and everything. It was like the fucking most hilarious thing ever. So yeah, that's another story that I think that needs to be animated. But still, the obvious one that needs to be animated now is Bob's Fridge. Bob's Fridge needs to be animated ASAP. And I was thinking maybe make this like a collaborative effort, and like let's say have one person do a section of it, and then another animator can do another section, etc., and do this big collaborative collaboration where everyone does a section of the story of Bob's Fridge. That's what I think that's probably the only other option there is right now, because clearly the story is way too long for one animator to do the whole thing of. I commented literally on the Distractible's YouTube channel on the episode of Bob's Fridge, and I said that this story needs to be animated. It's so goddamn funny. And right now, it's now at 4,000 likes. 4K likes, that comment. Fucking insane. Never thought I would get a comment with that many likes in my life. Never did. Never did have that many comments, likes at all in my entire, time on YouTube. Never did. And I'm surprised that everybody was agreeing with me on that one. I was shocked. Didn't think that comment would probably get lost. I knew that comment. I was just going in. When I commented that, I was like, yeah, that comment's probably going to get maybe like a handful of likes, and then that was it. But then I randomly decided to look back at it, and then it had, at that time, 800 likes. And I'm like, the fuck? How did this happen? And stuff like that. And a lot of people kept commenting saying, it technically is already animated. I'm like, not the video. I'm not talking about the video. I'm talking about the story itself. Like how they did with, Wade getting his pregnancy test, and, with this recent animation with Mark and Bob bunking their beds. Like that, I mean. That's what I mean. But, yeah, again, that story with, them bunking their beds was pretty funny. But they left, the animator left out crucial, parts that, funny tidbits of that, and stuff like that. But another, suggestion, not talking about the Bob's Fridge, would be the story that Mark told prior to them of Mark and Bob talking about them bunking their beds, because it was still related to college. When, Mark was doing that parkour stuff. And he, at first, landed on his ass, and then when he tried to do the little roll, he ended up landing on his shoulder and just stood. Like, the whole story is too funny on its own, but yeah. Again, the animation was great. I love the choices made in that animation was great and stuff. So yeah, that was great. I love that. Can't wait to see. I hope there's more animations from Distractible, because some of the stories on there is too good. And if you have not listened to Distractible, I highly recommend you do. You want a good laugh? Listen to Distractible, because it's chaos anyways. And hell, go listen to Mark's new podcast with Tyler. Go My Favorite Sports Team, I think it's called. Go check out that podcast too. It's pretty good too. I've only listened to the very first episode recently, so haven't had a chance to really, listen to the other episodes. So, an episode I would like to see, being discussed on that Go My Favorite Sports Team is the MLB lockout. That's a good thing, because right now, unfortunately, the season's going to be, some of the first few games of the season is going to be canceled because they're still in lockout. That's a shame, but anyways, I've rambled on long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram, because of me, Colette's and Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and myself. I was trying to act as the cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRD96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.